So I know you mentioned that you had some back pain at times. When you showed me, it was up here in this region.
Yeah, all this side.
Yeah, and then you showed me down your lumbar region. Very likely that up here, it's actually what's often referred to as like a trigger point. And a trigger point is often a muscular contraction. It's like when a muscle locks up, and then it creates back pain like radiating pain. And so those are often two different types of pain. One is often muscular, and then one is often structural. So probably something related to disc down your lower back. The reality is, whether it's muscular or structural, the approach that we take towards back pain specifically is pretty similar. We think about it like a three-legged stool, and on one leg of the stool we have strength, one leg of the stool we have flexibility, and then the third leg of the stool is balance, and that means right-left balance. I know you mentioned your right side is a lot more flexible than your left side. This is pretty typical because we're either right-handed or left-handed, or we're stronger or weaker. Sometimes we do asymmetrical sports. So almost all of us are struggling with balance. And if we move in an imbalanced way, that can contribute to pain as well. So let's take a look at a couple of different poses for strength, flexibility, and balance. And let's start off with the strength component. You do a lot of strength work. I know you mentioned you're doing HIIT cardio and you're doing body weight exercises and things like that. These are all fantastic. There are certain ranges, however, that very few of us work in, and that's specifically spinal extension for strength. And spinal extension for strength, the simplest way to think about it is if you think about a surfer. Surfers are one of the only sports where they arch in spinal extension and then they do work. And surfers have back problems too, but they do have strong erector spinae muscles along their back to support them. And this is what we'd like to develop today. So if you could, let's both lie down on our belly. And have your feet about as wide as your hips back behind you. And then place your fingertips out in front of you on the floor. Good, now imagine that we're surfing, right? So imagine we're paddling for a wave, and so you really lengthen through your spine. So don't think about a back bend, just think about a wave in the distance, and you're looking at that wave. And then when I say one, I'd like you to very gently lengthen your fingers and your toes back behind you, and we'll just hold and breathe gently. Don't worry about how high you come, but 3, 2, 1, and we lift up, up, that's it, yeah, and breathe through your nose. Now try to make your body longer, so your fingertips are stretching, your toes are stretching. Look forward like there's a wave in the distance, and slowly lower down. Fingertips stay up high. Go ahead and just rest here for a moment. So again, very often, no matter how strong we are, this is a very strange surfer's position that we're in. And those muscles that run along your back, along your spine, they're called your erector spinae muscles. And they're very important for stabilizing and for keeping your spine erect, for keeping it straight up and down. And they can be really, really helpful to develop this for the strength element. Let's try this one more time, and then we'll take a look at a couple of other poses.
It's really comfortable here.
So your body's really long. Think about your body getting as long as you can. Imagine there's a wave in a distance that you're looking at. 3, 2, 1, and we lift up, up, up. Good. Gaze gently forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Great. So this is a great practice for strength, and generally we'd work in sets, and you might do 5 sets of this as a supplement to whatever else you're doing. Let's take a look at balancing practices next. I know you mentioned right and left side are imbalanced. This is pretty normal for all of us. If you come up on your hands and knees like a child crawling, and tuck your toes underneath back behind you, your knees about as wide as your hips, your hands right under your shoulders. When we're trying to create balance, it's really helpful if we work asymmetrically, meaning we work one side at a time. So let's start off by stretching your right arm forward, fingers together, palm faces in. Yeah, palm faces in. Great. Now stretch your left leg back behind you and point your left toes. Good. Now drop your head so your ear and your arm are in one line. Now imagine your body's getting longer and longer and longer. Stretch through your right arm, stretch back through your left leg. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then release. Put your hand down. Toes are tucked under on both feet. Switch. So take your left arm forward, fingers together, palm faces in. Right leg is up. Point your toes, but don't go quite so high with that right leg. There you go. Yeah, keep your body low, but just stretch. Feel like there's a string pulling your hand forward. There's a string pulling your hand backwards, lengthening your body. 3, 2, 1. Good. Put your hand down, put your foot down. Let's try the same thing. Right hand comes up. Good. Left leg comes up. Inhale. As you exhale, touch your elbow to your knee. Good. Inhale, lengthen forward, stretch long. Exhale, elbow to your knee. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, elbow to your knee. Good. Switch sides. Put your hands down. Both your toes are tucked. Left arm reaches forward, right leg back. Good. Inhale. Now exhale, elbow to your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to your knee. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to your knee. Good. Put your hands down. Sit back, and you can shake out your arms. So we were doing those lengthening cobra poses to strengthen our erector spinae muscles. These poses are often called pointer poses, where we have one and the other, and the idea is to build strength and balance strength between our right side and our left side. We'll take a look at one more pose, which is designed for flexibility. And because you mentioned your shoulders and your upper back, we'll work on something up here in this range. And this pose, if you come a little bit forward, please, this pose is called shoulder pow. And let me show you what it looks like. Essentially, we'd like to clasp our hands behind our back and lean our head into our arms. And if your hands don't quite reach, I have a belt and a strap for you here. So you stay right where you are, and I'll give you the strap here. Yeah, try grabbing hold of that strap. There you go. Perfect. Now from here, gently lean your head back into your arm. Good. And breathe here. Close your mouth, and we'll breathe in through our nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then out through your mouth for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then out through your mouth for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more round. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out through your mouth for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. You can release your hand and shake it out. One of the important things when we're doing the flexibility is that you use a timer. So for this particular pose, you'd want to do at least 2 minutes, and you do 2 minutes on either side. And this breathing technique will really help specifically with that contracted muscle, with that trigger point in your shoulder. When we breathe that way, it helps our nervous system relax, and it can make a big difference. These kinds of exercises are really helpful if you do them after your training. So do whatever you love to do for training, whether it's high intensity or running or whatever you're doing, and then afterwards take some time for strength, balance, and then flexibility like we just looked at now.
2 minutes each side.
2 minutes each side,
Okay.
exactly.
And I can do it with anything,
Any
right?
belt, any strap, nothing special about that one.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Perfect.